Come on, really, did anybody really think this was gonna be that good? What's up, everyone? Chris here from MTR Network, and I'm back with another review. Again, just to let you guys know, we have longer non-spoiler reviews on our podcast, movie trailer reviews. I don't put all of those on YouTube. Sometimes we do, obviously just audio only. But if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our reviews, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the Movie Trailer Reviews podcast. Again, that's where me and Phenom do most of our reviews, so get that there. But I'm solo on this one. Phenom did not come to see Red Sparrow with me, so you're just getting me, once again, my beautiful face, doing another review. And, man, I don't even know where to kind of start with Red Sparrow. Let me say up front, I don't think that this film is going to be what most people think. I think a lot of people were expecting some kind of cross between a Black Widow film that people have been asking for and Atomic Blonde that came out last year. And if that's the case, I think you're going to be really disappointed. Like, I don't think the trailers suggested that, but I think some people might be thinking of it. And before I dig into the details, let me just say, I think that the Rotten Tomato score on this, which I think is between 60 and 67%, which means about an average of 3 out of 5, 6.5 out of 10. I think it's a little bit higher than I would give it, but it's about right. I just think that in this day and age of Me Too and women's voices finally being heard from and seeing more powerful figures and female characters in films, I feel like this film is just, it's not going to cut it. I mean, it feels like it's, I'll say this, I don't think that this film should ever have been kind of put out like this, but I will say that I don't think in this era and this climate that this film is going to be very well received. At times this film feels like Francis Lawrence, who is reunited with Jennifer Lawrence after directing 3 of the Hunger Games films, it's like he had this desire to see Jennifer Lawrence naked and tortured and abused and humiliated all this time. No, seriously, Jennifer Lawrence's character is raped twice in this film, and she's beaten and tortured severely at one point. To put it bluntly, this film is Jennifer Lawrence torture porn. Look, I'm going to go into some spoilery details. I normally don't do spoilers on the video review, but I think to really do explain what's wrong with this film, I need to start doing that. And I get so many people on the comments saying, "Oh, you didn't go into the details." So I'm gonna go into the details with this film. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say that I think that my score is, this is about a 5.5 out of 10, and that's my caveat with saying that it really depends on how you feel about Jennifer Lawrence being tortured as much in this film. Like, I can literally see how people would give this film a 0. It's kind of like how even though everybody was reviewing and said Detroit was such a great film, as a Black person watching Detroit, I gave it a 0 because it's literally just torture porn. It's not even good. It's just torturing somebody and abusing someone who doesn't have power for the sake of it. And I feel like that happens a lot in Red Sparrow. So I can definitely understand why a woman, or you really honestly should be a woman, just anybody with any kind of human decency would see this film and go, "Fuck this, this is ridiculous. This is not worth it to see." But yeah, I would give it a 5.5 out of 10 at best. I have no desire to ever see it again. But like I said, I want to go ahead and get that out of the way now because, like I said, I've been doing these reviews on YouTube, and I don't go into too many details. And then people in the comments go, "Oh, you didn't really understand the film." Annihilation. I understood Annihilation. It just wasn't that great. And you know, not everybody goes and listens to us on our podcast, or not premium hear our spoilers where we actually go into more details. So I'm going to do that with this film. I'm kind of go into some more details and not really worry about spoilers. So if you want to see this film and you're worried about spoilers, then just go ahead and shut this off, go see the film, then come back at this point, and we'll go from there. So, all right, we're gonna let's give it a couple seconds, let you guys go, and then I'll get into the film. All right, so I'm assuming you're gone, you don't care about spoilers at this point. All right, so here we go. The general plot of this movie is Jennifer Lawrence plays Dominika Egorova. She's a former ballerina that suffers an injury and she can't dance anymore. And in order to take care of her ailing, sick mother, she agrees to do a small favor for her uncle, Vanya Egorova, who is a high-up official in the Russian intelligence. And I can't really exactly remember his title. I just can't. The op she's asked to do goes horribly wrong. And she has to go get this man's phone, and it goes horribly wrong. He ends up raping her, but then her uncle has sent an assassin to kill this man anyway. So she witnessed the kill, and her uncle gives her a choice of either joining the Sparrow program or being killed. Just so you know, yes, her uncle is a huge piece of shit, and it only gets worse from here. So she goes to the Sparrow program, a program specializing in turning young women and men, that's important, into seductive operatives. After graduating to field ops, after being raped again in the class, Dominique is tasked by her uncle to find a Russian mole that's been sending secrets to an American C.I.A. operative, Nate Nash, played by Joel Edgerton. And what follows is a long, drawn-out, is she a double agent, is she not a double agent, back and forth, where you don't know if she's using her skills as a Sparrow to kind of gain Nate's trust, or if she's really trying to sell out Russia. Okay, so got all that out. There we go. The problem with this film is that it wants you to buy into the ending with Dominika seemingly determining her own path and her own fate on her own terms. But the problem is the rest of the film doesn't really set that up. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the film doesn't earn its ending. At no point in this film do you think Dominika's a good spy. Hell, she doesn't really figure out who the mole is. He just kind of reveals himself to her. I mean, yeah, she uses her seductive powers and her ways, and her uncle keeps telling her that you're like me, you're made for this, and it's bullshit. He's like grooming her because, again, her uncle's a piece of shit again, and he's like got this like weird like sexual fantasy about her, and yeah, she does understand how to use, and influence men by what they want using sex, but again, there's more to being a spy than just that. All this could have been fixed if in the short time spent in the Sparrow training program, they spent more time on the Sparrows actually training to be spies and less on the humiliation rape of women. So like I said, the Sparrow program isn't just women, it's men too, but oddly enough, all the brutal humiliation scenes involve dehumanizing women. Literally all of them. First is a woman who is forced to perform oral sex on a sexual predator in front of the entire class. I mean, it doesn't actually happen, but it comes close. Like, you see the man unzip his pants, he's like jerking off, you hear the fucking sound of it, and then he's like trying to force a woman's head into his crotch. Later on, because Dominika is showing promise, she's raped in the shower by one of her male classmates. She's able to fight him off, she hits him in the face, she gets him off of him, but she's reprimanded for damaging his face. She's then forced to stand in front of the class and give him what he wants. She ends up now turning the tables on him by actually demanding him to fuck her and get into it. And he can't get himself hard because he's basically like, he's about power. He's not about, it's the typical thing about rape. Rape's about power, not about sex. And so she understands, and she knows that in order to stop that is to take the power back. But, again, you have on the one hand, she got raped. On the other hand, he got humiliated in front of the entire class. Which one do you think is? Yeah. And that pretty much sums up the fuckery of this film. The women get raped or beat or killed, and the men just kind of get embarrassed for the most part. I mean, there are some men that get it. And this feels like one of those times where a female director might have had a little more of a subtle or aware touch when broaching these subjects. And there are other problems with the film. I mean, outside the problem nature of the film, the rest it's just not that appealing. Edgerton and Lawrence have the chemistry of oil and water. And look, talking about Annihilation I mentioned before, it's not as bad the dry ass cheat sex that Natalie Portman's character has in that film, but it's still pretty dry. I don't want the Lawrence high coming at me. I've never really gotten her appeal. I'm not saying she's a bad actress, and because I don't want you guys flooding my comments saying, you said Jennifer Lawrence is a bad actress. She has an Academy Award. It's not that. It's just the same problem I've always had with her in Hunger Games. It's like she has the same facial expression for everything. It's just this emotionless 1,000-yard stare that she has, and it's just her basic look for like 90% of the movie she's in. And then it's weird because I don't feel like that she's like that in real life. It just feels robotic and stiff, and in Red Sparrow, it's even more prominent. And I don't blame her. I kind of blame the direction that Francis Lawrence gave her. It's just have her show some emotion, have her get in there. It just leads to a really dry ass movie. I'd give this a 5.5 out of 10. Initially, I was going to give it a 6.5. But it's been over a week since I've seen it, and I just can't. Nothing stands out to me in this film. It's just not something I would have watched. It feels like a film for creeps who want to see Jennifer Lawrence naked on screen, or who get off and seeing women beaten and raped. Like again, the torture scene with her is just fucking ridiculous. The rape, the torture, all of it is just so brutal. And yeah, at the end of the film, she does kind of get her revenge, if you will, but it just doesn't. I don't think it lands the way they expected, the way they wrote the film, and the way they expected it to land. I just don't think it does. I don't think it does. It gets the same effect that they think they're going to have. I think when I was watching the theater, everybody kind of just like, that's it? Okay. I mean, that happened. Let me end with this. Seeing this film finally put me in the category of wanting a Black Widow film from Marvel. And I'm not saying I was ever truly against having a Black Widow film. I just honestly didn't care. And it's not because I didn't care about female character representation. It's like, I just thought there were more deserving female characters. But between being disappointed by Atomic Blonde, that had some really great action scenes, but felt like it underused its cast, and then this trash, which didn't disappoint me because I knew it wasn't going to be good. I don't know. I just kind of feel like a Black Widow film might finally scratch the itch that so many of us have. It's simple. Give us a badass female spy character just like you have with James Bond and Ethan Hunt and Mission Impossible. It's that simple. That's all you need to fucking do. Like, I don't know why they make it so simple. It's like, we don't want a female spy film where sex is the key thing that defines her. This is stupid. And what kills me is that we've seen better examples of this on TV. Look, Agent Carter gave us the blueprint. It was such an underrated show. Peggy Carter was a badass spy who kicked ass every week. And you just take something similar to that and you put it in a 2-hour movie. That's it. You know? And again, I'm not saying take sex out of it. But it's just like, you know, look at Legend of Tomorrow. I talk about this show all the time. Sarah Lance with Legend of Tomorrow is sexy. She's not the same with her sexuality. But it's also not what defines her. What defines her is she's a badass and she's a leader. Hell, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. has several kick-ass female spies on it. And so it just feels like maybe the answer is to just have Marvel do a Black Widow film so Hollywood can see this is what the general audiences want. Like, I think Atomic Blonde came close. Proud Mary deserved a better script and some fucking promotion. And Red Sparrow just should never have happened. Like, get your shit together, Hollywood. 2018, we can have a female Bond-like film. We can have badass women. I mean, it's a shame when you think about it. Sigourney Weaver's Ripley is probably from Aliens, it's probably the best example we have, and that was over 30 years ago. So, yeah, what the fuck? We can, I don't know, I just, this feels let down. Like, you know, honestly, what it reminds me of, again, these are two completely different films, but it's the same concept of we wanted female action films and we should do this. Lucy. Like, I was really excited to see Lucy and see Scarlett Johansson as Lucy, and that film just left me like so disappointed. I don't know what it is. It's just, well, I know what it is. It's sexism and patriarchy in Hollywood. It's the same reason why people think that black films don't sell, and why everybody's so shocked about how good Black Panther is, because and how well it's selling. It's like, if you make good films, you put the money and the effort and time behind it, people will go. You know, and if you don't put the time into promoting, people will still go. Like, fuck, Wonder Woman. They didn't put the promotion behind it, but people still ran out to see that fucking film. Like, we want to see this stuff. And so, I don't know. I just think that, like, Red Sparrow, like, again, I'm not disappointed because I didn't think it was going to be good. It looked dry from every trailer I saw of it. It's just, it doesn't even give you that thriller intrigue. It just feels lazy. It just feels like they knew they weren't even going to try with it. And women deserve better, but as an audience member, I think we all deserve better too. Like, you can do this. We can do this. We can see women go out there and kick ass. We can see, like, even if, again, so, you know, I don't want to make it seem like this is just about making it an action film. The problem with Red Sparrow, it doesn't have to be an action film, but even as this spy thriller film, again, her being humiliated and them using sex against her is the defining characteristic of the character. It's what they do. It's what makes them sparrows. It's what it's it's what they're trained to do. Trying to use your sex appeal to understand what men want, and they're trying to make it seem like it's psychological. But honestly, I think it's lost in the brutality and honestly the rape. I mean, it's just should have been better. It should have been better. Yeah, so there you guys have it. That is my review for Red Sparrow. You can find the rest of our stuff, like I said, on this channel. I'm gonna put up some of the podcast episodes. I'm obviously gonna do my solo one-on-one reviews. But if you want to hear more in depth, like I know a lot of people are saying, you didn't get Annihilation. Like, what I'm gonna do is normally we put our spoiler reviews on our premium podcast on mtrnetwork.net. I'm probably just going to go ahead and put the Annihilation spoiler review up on our main free feed. So if you go and subscribe to Movie Trailer Reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your favorite podcast, or just go to mtrnetwork.net, you'll see it there. I'll probably get that up later on this week. But if you subscribe, that you see all of our audio reviews. We go into longer detail and we discuss these films. And it's easier because not just me. I can then bounce the ideas off of some other. Usually it's Phenom, but I'll also have some other critics that I know that are in critic associations around the country, and we talk to them about stuff too as well. So there you guys have it, guys. Thank you guys very much for listening, and make sure you subscribe if you like the channel. I know a lot of you guys have been. I really appreciated that. By the time this is up, we might be over 2,000 subscribers, and that really means a lot to me because I thought we were going to struggle to get to 2,000. I've only really started focusing on putting like good, actual, exclusive content on YouTube the last several months. So the fact that we're over 2,000 subscribers now, it really warms my heart. So make sure you subscribe, and then also hit the bell notification up there so you're notified every time we put up a new video, and we'll have plenty of stuff coming out. I think the next review we have coming out is Death Wish. Yeah, that's probably going to be another poorly timed film as well. But anyway, folks, thank you guys for listening, and I will be back soon. Peace.